For a start.
Hello and welcome back to the vlog. I am SpeedyGimp313. In this entry we're going to do another exterior mod to the Deadpool, the Camaro. We are going to change the gold bow ties to black bow ties. Now there have been many other videos showing you how to do this. Some people will use paint, some people will use vinyl. I chose to buy the official bow ties and change them out that way. It is a little bit more expensive, but I think the overall look will be better. And you'll only have to do this one time, and you won't have to touch up paint every so often because of sand and everything else from the road. So I'm going to show you guys the process. We're going to start with the rear bow tie, then move to the front. Okay guys, so what my buddy David is doing here is he's taping off the current bow tie. One, to give us a marker so we keep our center point when we install the new bow tie, but also to protect the paint while we remove the current bow tie.
Okay, what we're doing at this point in this clip is we're simply taking a piece of fishing wire and getting it behind the bow tie and moving it back and forth to break the bow tie loose from the adhesive that's on the car. Okay, so the next step after removing that bow tie is going to be to remove the adhesive that was used to put the bow tie on at the factory, and that's actually the step we're at now. I'm simply using a razor blade and some Goo Gone and some Orange Blast degreaser and I'm spraying that very liberally to let it remove the adhesive. I did find that letting that sit for a few minutes does help to deteriorate the adhesive to make it a little bit easier to remove. So what my buddy David is doing at this point is he is reinstalling the aftermarket bow tie, and he's taking his time to make sure he has it centered within the tape lines we set when we taped off the car in the beginning. And this is where you want to take a lot of time and make sure you have it centered left to right, as well as vertically from top to bottom and bottom to top. You want to take your time, make sure it's centered. That way, when you have it installed on the car, it doesn't look crooked, it doesn't look off center. So, because even the smallest change is going to be noticeable at a distance if you don't take your time with this step.
Okay guys, so I want to take just a second to explain what's going on here. We got the rear bow tie installed, however apparently the one I ordered is not a OEM GM part. So the fitment, the bow tie at the top and the bottom on the original has a slight curve to fit the lines of the body. The one I ordered does not, so what we've done is taken a clamp with a shop rag and used it to compress the middle of the bow tie to kind of form it to the lines of the body of the car. That way water and dirt won't get behind the bow tie and eat away the adhesive and eventually cause it to fall off. And we're going to let that sit for a little while and see if the adhesive at the top and the bottom of the bow tie will actually adhere and form to the lines of the body. And I will give you guys an update later in the video to let you know how this worked, so you can avoid any issues you may have if you end up ordering the same one from Amazon.
Okay, so this image shows what I was referring to in the last clip about how the curve of the bow tie, or the lack of a curve, doesn't fit the lines of the trunk on the 2015 Camaro. That's why I would advise you guys not to order this bow tie from Amazon.
Okay guys, so we've got all the bolts removed to remove this plate. We're going to remove the plate now. The only advice I would give you guys is be extremely careful when removing this plate, as it is right up against the paint of your car. So take your time, maybe get some shop towels and lay down to help protect your paint if you decide to remove this and do the same modification. Okay guys, so I don't know how well you'll be able to see this, but what we've got to do is remove those pins on the back of the bow tie and pop it out of the insert in the grill. Okay guys, so what we're doing now is we're cleaning the bow ties before we paint them, just to get any dirt or grime or any buildup that may be on there, so we get good adhesion with the paint.
So what I'm doing in this step of the process is simply laying thin, light coats of paint over the bow tie until I get the desired tone and color that I'm looking for. I then went over it with Rust-Oleum clear coat enamel and laid down 4 to 5 coats of that, just to help add a layer of protection for any rocks or debris that I may encounter on the road, to help keep the paint from chipping, so I don't have to touch it up as often, hopefully. Okay, in this step I'm simply removing the tape after the paint and the clear coat has had time to dry between each coat. What I don't have footage of, guys, and what I wasn't able to show you because the GoPros died this day, was we actually painted the rear bow tie and then tried to reinstall it. However, it managed to, when we put the adhesive on and put it back on the car, it managed to fall down. Apparently because we didn't put enough pressure to hold it until the adhesive hardened a little bit, and so we tried taping it as the instructions for the adhesive said to do. What that actually ended up doing was tearing the paint off, because the paint hadn't had enough time to cure. So what we ended up doing was giving the adhesive time to cure, so we knew the bow tie was secure. We then taped off the back of the car with newspaper and masking tape and repainted the rear bow tie to match the front one. So I didn't show you guys that, but I want to make you aware of that, so hopefully you won't make the same mistakes that I did. close out this entry, I want to point out I did remove the Camaro badges, and I did show some of that footage. At this point in time, I haven't put them back on the car, but I do plan on painting them and seeing how they look on the car painted, and then making a determination whether I want to put them back on the car or not at that time. And I will shoot some footage of that and show you guys in a later entry. Aside from that, guys, that's going to do it for this entry. I hope this entry was helpful. I hope it was informative. I hope it showed you the process of changing the appearance of your bow ties. And honestly, guys, in my opinion, it's more cost effective to just paint your current bow ties rather than spend the money and buy aftermarket ones. Okay, guys, so I just want to take a minute and update you on this. As you can see, the front bow tie is now gold again. What happened was, after about 2 months, the paint started chipping, and then a short time after that, I went on a road trip, very short road trip, maybe about 80 miles. And during that, I encountered some bad weather, and during that time, the rest of the paint got removed. So at this point, what I'm going to do is actually order the front bow tie in black from Phase Tech Performance and install that. And I've already shown that process earlier in the video, so I'm not going to film that again and show you guys. But you will see the black bow tie back on the car at some point in the future. Okay, guys, so this is future Speedy Gimp speaking for past Speedy Gimp that you just saw in the closing of this video. Let me go back and say that I said that I would recommend doing this to your bow ties on your Camaro. I would recommend doing it for the rear bow tie. However, I cannot recommend doing it for the front bow tie. Again, as I stated in the previous clip, I don't know if there was something wrong in my preparation before I painted it, or if the paint just wasn't good enough quality, or what the situation was. But as I stated earlier, I am going to order the black bow tie from Phase Tech Performance and install on the front of the car. If you have the time, I highly recommend doing it to the rear bow tie, because my rear bow tie 3 months later still looks amazing. It looks great. So I would recommend painting your rear bow tie. However, I cannot recommend painting your front bow tie. I would say save your money, do what you need to do, and buy the black one from a reputable company that provides it. So anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this entry. If you enjoyed this entry, be sure to hit the thumbs up button. If it's your first time coming to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button. As always, links to all of my social media will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching, and have a great night. I did forget to mention in the closing, guys, if you have any questions regarding the installation process or the process we used to make the mold to remove the bow ties in the event that we decide to reinstall them at a later time, feel free to leave the questions in the comments below, and I'll respond as soon as I can.